Okay, so the solution making exercise today is to make TBE, which is the running buffer that we would use for running DNA agarose gels. So this is a buffer that we'll use frequently throughout the semester, and you've already just done the calculation for this with your lab instructor. So we are going to make 50 mils of TBE using tris, which we have right over here, with boric acid, and with EDTA solution, which we have right over here. So we're going to weigh out the dry ingredients with a balance, and we are going to add those ingredients to a beaker. So we're ultimately going to use a volumetric flask to make our solution up to the final volume, but we don't want to put dry ingredients into this flask. We want to get them into solution first in the beaker, and then use the flask to adjust to the very final volume. So we will put our beaker right over here. We will add our tris weigh boat to the balance, and we will tare it to go down to 0, and then we will add 5.39 grams of tris. Perfect. Wow, I really did nail that one. Okay, so our 5.39 grams of tris are now added to our beaker. Now add 2.75 grams of boric acid, put our weigh boat on there, tare it. A little bit over, but that's okay. So we'll add this 2.75 grams to our beaker. And now we are going to add their EDTA, and we're adding 2 mils of 0.5 molar EDTA. So we could use a glass pipette to do that. But in this case, we're just going to use our 1,000 microliter micropipette twice. So we'll walk over here. We have our micropipette already set to 1,000 microliters. So we will get a pipette tip right over here. We will open our EDTA. We will take up 1,000 microliters once, add it, and then twice, and add it. We did not need to change the tip there because we were going into the same container. So that's that. Get rid of our pipette tip. And now we're going to add our distilled water. So we're going to add, or the ultimate volume we want is 50 mils. This volumetric flask can measure up to exactly 50 mils by measuring up to this graduation right here. But we don't want to add 50 mils all at once because those dry ingredients do have some volume. So we've filled this volumetric flask with water up to about the shoulder of the flask. We'll add that much water, so a little bit less than 50 mils, to the beaker and swirl the beaker until all of these dry ingredients dissolve. And once they have all dissolved, we will come back and add the solution back to the volumetric flask, and then adjust the final volume to 50 mils. And this is how you get a perfectly calibrated solution in this lab. So we'll break right here and come back once this stuff is all in solution and we can do the final adjustment.